Okay, next is to add sprites. First select sprite type 1 and rename it as sprite type sun from properties. Next, to add images to this sprite type, click on the box below the picture list and select sun.png. Now click the add button. Now click sprite 1 and see that sun.png image we have added has been automatically added to sprite 1. I rename this sprite as sun. I want to display this sprite from the bottom left corner of the canvas. So I drag the sprite here like this. Let's drag the small blue boxes around this sprite and change the size of the sprite like this. Okay. Now I need to add another sprite type. For that, let's click the Add Sprite Type button under the sprite class. Look, the newly added sprite type is displayed like this in the box showing the components. I will rename this sprite as Sprite Mercury. Here too, click on the box under the picture list and add the marking mercury.png image. We have not added sprites to this sprite type yet. Let's add sprites now. I drag the sprite Mercury block under the sprite class into the screen like this. Okay, now a sprite was created like this. I click the rename button in the properties here and rename this sprite to Mercury. Next, you need to add the picture for this sprite. Here, the image we provided for the sprite type has been automatically added. I drag this sprite to a place above the sun like this, and in this way, you can change the size of this sprite by dragging the small boxes. Now let's add another sprite type in the same way. Here again, I click the Add Sprite Type button under Sprite class. Let's rename the sprite type to Sprite Venus. Also, it is necessary to add pictures to this sprite type. I click on the box below this picture list and select the Venus.png image. Now let's click the Add button here. Next, I need to add a sprite for this sprite Venus. I drag the sprite Venus code block under the sprite class into the screen in the same way as before adding sprites. Okay, now a sprite was created like this. I click the rename button in the properties here and rename this sprite to Venus. Next, you need to add the picture for this sprite. The Venus.png image we provided for the sprite type is automatically added here. Let's drag the sprite above Mercury like this and change the size of the sprite as before. I again click the Add Sprite Type button under the sprite class and add another sprite type. Click the rename button from properties here and rename the sprite type as Sprite Earth. Next, you need to add a picture for the picture list. I click on this box and select earth.png. Now click the add button. Okay, next is to add sprites for Sprite Earth. We only need one sprite for this. I drag the Sprite Earth block under the sprite class into the screen like this. Now you can see that a sprite was created under Sprite Earth. I rename this sprite as Earth. Also, you need to add the earth.png image to this sprite. You can see that the earth.png image that we gave to the sprite type for picture selection has been added automatically. Therefore, there is no need to add this image again. Let's drag this sprite to a place above Venus as before and change the size as needed.